Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's No Reservations, and I'm done one.
And I'm Marie. Now, last week we talked about dealing with people when they show their true colors,
Right.
and trying to maneuver how those people work and how we should react to those people or not react to those people, how to deal with them, and us just giving that advice of what to do with those people, right?
Right. That's what we did. It was pretty interesting, to say the least. It's eye-opening every episode that we do, and it like plays into real life, ironically, as it maybe should, but we don't really plan it out. And the advice that we give to anybody is free to take or not. Right.
Right.
Right. But today's guest, man, this motherfucker right here, he's a father, a brother, a talented artist. He'll tell you directly how it is with no filter, not to hurt your feelings, but because he tells you the truth all the time. Because he wants the best for you. That's probably like accountability. It's a lot of things, I don't want to spill the tea or anything like that right now, but without further ado, he's my brother. I know him as Kenny. Some of y'all might know him as Judgment, but without further ado, this is my brother right here, Judgment. What's up, bro? What's going on?
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you here.
I know,
Yeah.
me too. I'm super excited too.
That's what's up. Shit, good to have you here.
Wow. You can call me Judgment or Kenny, or as some of you may know me as, hey, don't you owe me some fucking money? All of those different things, or as the bill collectors know me, hey, we've been trying to get a hold of you.
That's right.
I'm a man of many names. I'm also I have an everyman face. So if you feel like you know me, we probably have never met, or we could have met. I get that a lot. But thank you for having me on No Reservations.
You're welcome. You're welcome, bro. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God.
Now, one of the things, though, that everybody, at least in our community and our little circles, know you for your music.
Right.
But there's a part of you that struck me really crazy when I first met you, and that is your love for EDM.
Oh, yeah.
So how did that start? Like, was it something that you just came across, or did it start when you were little? Like, what was that?
I'm part of the old guard, so it always started with I think I've always loved 808s. I just love bass. It's I was like 808 and Heartbreaks well before Kanye ever came with it.
Facts.
And back in the day, it's EDM, at least the kind I listen to, because I don't listen to house or no shit like that. I don't like that shit, but I like drum and bass, jungle, and really jungle and stuff. That's kind of basically UK hip hop. So they've kind of always gone hand in hand, where you can get it'll be a dope hip hop song, but then it'll have over a jungle mix. And it used to be way harder to find. You had to know somebody that knew somebody that had a tape. And then you copied the tape.
Yep.
And then you just played it until you're and there's no skipping or anything. You just have to be I like listening to this part, so I rewind it to listen to here. But I just love, I also like weird sounds, you put the bass in there, you put the crazy sounds and the tempo, and it does something to me. I'm always hip hop is my hip hop's my first true love, and then heavy metal is my mistress, and then
Yep.
EDM is my fun side bitch. I like to party. Right? And it's great because it goes for anything. I immediately turn into the most Formula One driver when I'm driving. It makes me want to go fast. It makes me want to just move through the city, long drives. It fills every void there. I love it. I actually can't get enough of the stuff. When I came here, I was listening to it.
It's like Flight of the Navigator with this.
It is like Flight of the Navigator. That's how I feel. I feel straight like Flight of the Navigator. I turn on the bass, hits me. It's compliance. You know what I'm saying? Compliance. And I'm yeah, take me out of this world.
Bro, I could only imagine back in the day, right? you had like, because you're the old guard of the music,
Right.
right? Like when the music was swamping bass,
No.
where it was all and your lights would dim out.
Yeah.
Your alternator isn't working. That's the kind of shit we be listening to.
Yeah, we're just straight. So like swampy is like whoa, 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 whoa. It's like literally you think that that's what probably like the DeLorean sounded like right before it hit into going into the future.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Just that 88.
the flux capacitor was like at its top. As soon as exactly 88, whoa, 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 you know, and Doc Brown was like, there it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the drum and bass for sure. Like, and it's actually like I listen to a lot of new drum and bass too. Like so like rollers like and so they've actually gotten to like that like swampy like for a while there was that, and then it was like dubstep, and I was like,
Right.
damn, this is close to ED. I was like, it's got the heavy bass, but then I started listening more to drum and bass that has like heavy as a bass, and I'm like, yeah, this is my tempo. It's got the drum patterns, but then still wah wah wah,
Right.
something just crazy ass foghorn.
Like Benny L or more. Like,
Benny L
or the Force.
Blade Runner, the Force is like they're like dubstep, but you got Star Wars samples and
Can't
can't go wrong with that. I mean, there's so much like we could go down a long rabbit hole where I'll just be like, this person here, this person, never been to the UK, but if I went to the UK, that's part of my reason I ever want to go to UK is just to go to see all of the dope ass fucking like EDM producers.
Where it comes from. Like
yeah.
It's funny that you say that, like that like what was it? Dubstep is like hip hop, or wait, which one did you say?
Well, like jungle. I mean, jungle, drum and bass. You know what I'm saying? Dubstep is a certain, just like from dubstep, that's where you get like trap, which is
right.
like, which is trap is like a mixture of like hip hop beats and dubstep.
Bro, I remember
that's where like lo-fi and stuff comes from.
Yeah,
like lo-fi, like.
We've been doing this shit way before this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Bro, going to raves, bumping into each other unknowingly at a rave that we didn't know we were going to be at, and y'all are over there freestyling dope as fuck.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Way ahead of the curve.
It's freestyling over drum and bass is really fun too. So like, it's
I know.
easy.
You like it a lot. You create that way too.
Yeah, I do. I like to write to drum and bass because just.
And the shit that what's crazy is the shit that you put together.
Yeah, and then I'll just put it over a hip hop beat.
Right. You could even do it over the the dubstep or whatever track you were doing, you know.
And then do both, yeah. I mean, hey, that's how I feel it, man.
You're original. You're your own person. Like that's like when I see your posts and shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I'm like, how the fuck does he do this? Like you'll have your anime, right? Because you come from that also.
Yeah.
You have some anime shit that I really don't know because I don't really know too much about it. I have this Akira, fucking, you know, the 90s.
The 90s old,
right? But the shit that you have, it goes from metal to fucking EDM, and then your comic book shit.
Yeah. Variety's the spice of life, man.
Fucking movies that aren't real that you make up, or movies that you like. Your references and your music selection, not your personal art that you do, but your vast catalog is evident.
A very eclectic taste. I say I get that from my mom. My mom, she's always been like, she'll be listening to Bob Marley one day, then she'll be listening to Barbra Streisand. She'll be listening to, Luther Vandross. But then when I was a kid, we'd be listening to she'd be taking me to school and we'd be listening to Doggy Style, the album.
What?
Or she'd be listening to she'll listen to Method Man to Kyle with me. Yeah, my mom loves the part where he's like, spraying brothers with word. It's because I got a spitting problem. One of my mom's favorite songs of all time is Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See by Busta Rhymes. Or she loved, I remember she bought the album, Diggable Planets, I'm Cool Like That. We listened to their whole album for a whole summer, on tape. Yeah, I get a lot of my varying taste. We wasn't very just this way. We kind of spread out. So I can be listening to drum and bass. I can be listening to, hip hop.
Corridos.
Sometimes, so you never know. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to, what's my man? Is that Vicente Fernandez? Who sings El Rey?
Yeah.
Vicente Fernandez? Yeah.
Exactly.
Vicente Fernandez? Yeah.
Kidding. El Rey.
El Rey.
But he knows about El Rey.
You know what I'm saying? I listen to that. Listen to some Motown, Portishead, Sade. You know what I'm saying? Radiohead, get it.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro,
Right,
your
it's the
shit
spice
is
of life, man.
vast. It is. It is. That's what you've always since I've known you.
Yeah, and then you put it into a lot of movies, a lot of media. You know, I mean, I like fantasy world. It's like, all right, cool. Like, you know,
Right.
plus there's always a lot of you can always be involved in real shit, but real shit is stressful. I'd rather be talking about, you know, can a dragon outfly a spaceship? You know what I'm saying? How much of a head start does it need to catch up? You know,
Does it even need one?
Does it even need one? Right? Like, if a spaceship takes off and a dragon shoots its fire behind it, will it push it faster?
Fuck.
Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows?
Like, what the fuck,
You know?
dude?
And then you just take that and. I was an only child for 13 years, so I also have a wild imagination. So it's like,
Of course. No, I know what you mean.
so you just start thinking of things, and then I like Facebook because it's kind of like my platform to just say my crazy things and like, here, let me just drop this really silly, stupid, or thought provoking, or like it's stupid and thought provoking at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's dumb and both sides of the coin. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I like to think like sometimes like where I've like lost something at my house, but then I found it, right? But then like how I found it is like superb. Like it's like, damn, you're like the detective. And I'd be like, damn, it would be so amazing how I found it if it wasn't so stupid how I lost it in the first place. You know, like I would be able to brag about this if I wasn't a jackass that lost it in the first place.
Right.
Like I created a problem and then solved it brilliantly. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like when I go to open my door and I like it's right straight shot and I just and drop my keys, but then all of a sudden I'm just like and catch it with one hand, like don't even and I'm like then I look at my hand like, oh, do I have spider powers? Like you know what I'm saying? Like and then I'm like, I can't believe I caught that. But I also dropped it like I was an 85-year-old man. I don't understand. That's the paradox of my life. It's like brilliance and idiocy winding together, into like
into your DNA and your architecture,
That's
bro.
why I say it's like one of my powers is like just you could no matter if you think you're getting something over on me or you think I'm stupid, the moment that you actually believe that I'm that stupid, I'll instantly get smarter. I'll instantly be like, I'm not as dumb as you thought. Like you think I wasn't aware of it. Now that you feel that way, I'm aware. Just
Bro, this is just like the shit we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
On our last week's episode that you let it play out.
Okay.
You know what's going on, but you, like I said something to the effect of you let everything play out because I don't want to be right about the wrong right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you always it's a very weird balance of trying to be like DMX said it where he's like don't accuse people of being like don't like believe people what they say they are. Don't you can't because you can't walk around thinking everybody's out plotting against you, but also believe what they show you. And it's so many different factors into it because my thing is like we live in a weird world where people can actually like you, right? They like you, but for some reason something about you um makes them feel insecure or they feel that they have to do so then it makes them want to tear you down, but at the same time they like you, which always puts you in a weird thing because it's always weird to be competing with someone and you're not competing with them. You don't even know. It's like driving down the street and I'll just be driving fast because I want to get home. And then somebody who's in their muscle car is like, oh, you want to race? And I'm like, not really. I'm just trying to get home. You were driving slow before you saw me. Now you're driving and now you're making shit more difficult for me. And
right.
I'm just living my life, dude. Like, yeah, like you've got a six banger. I'm driving a 4-cylinder that needs an oil change. It's just that's not right. That makes sense. I'm not cutting you down. I need to get there. And now you're driving like an asshole, filling the spaces that I'm trying to do and trying to prove something to me. And I'm like, bro, I don't care. Like, so it's very interesting, like, to have to like navigate that, and then like especially because it's like you get it from all ranges of life, people that you know and you love and you care about to complete strangers, and then anything in between. And like how it's like part of me is like you allow people to do things, but once you realize it, and that's like also the arrogance of some people because they'll think they'll be doing stuff and that you don't notice or that you won't know. right? And then it's something that is unspoken, but I'm also an energy person, so I feel like
Yes.
you can feel it. You
Bro,
can feel it. But my thing is like I always just pick and choose like what I choose to engage with. Who I mean, like if it's somebody that I actually like, if I care about, I'll go to them and say, "Hey, is there something wrong? Because it feels like this." Like, and then and I can, and also my thing is also not think that, oh, you're just hating on me or you're just this or this. Like I try to see everyone's perspective and see like, well, maybe I can see how you think that maybe I'm doing this, or maybe like if you know me, I talk a lot of shit.
yeah.
But my thing is I talk shit to people. If I'm talking shit to you, that means I like you. But some people, and I'm good at talking shit, and some people get
I'll go make him a sandwich right now.
Sandwiches should have already been made, actually. But I mean, there's still time. I mean, we could actually probably, you could fix the sandwiches now, and while we're doing the thing, that way I can tell you.
All right, I'm gonna head out now.
That way I can tell you what I want while you're doing it.
Right. You want a Bags TV sandwich.
Yeah. Don't want you to put too much condiments on there. I also like my meat folded this way.
This shit is true.
I've actually got a new thing for oregano, so I'm gonna need some of that on there. But yeah, I mean, like, and so they get in their feelings about it because they think that you're trying to, especially like some people can joke, but then there's guys, you add a girl there or something like that, and all of a sudden something that's a normal joke, they are all like, oh, you're making me look, which I'm like, it doesn't matter. Why would I'm not maliciously trying to do anything. So also it's just like when it's people that are inconsequential, like people that you may go if you're going to shows or a bar, and like you just know like the energy doesn't feel right, or they do certain things, or you've heard that they've been doing this, and yet they come up to you and smile and do all this and that. I'm not one of those people that's like, nah, man, fuck you. I'm not gonna deal with you, or I'm gonna make it. I'm like, because everything in life, it's a game. So I'm like, all right, well, you're not. Why should I come and talk to you or confront you about something that you're not gonna come and confront me about? So we can just pretend together, and it's just in a moment. It's in a moment's time of right now. Now, if it's somebody that I'm going to see or care about, then yeah, we can talk about it. But if it's just I have to see you at this place because you're at a place that all of my friends that you're a mutual friend and you come up and do this, but I know that you're being this way. It's like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, because honestly, I don't have the only reason I have a problem with you more than likely is because you've done something that makes me feel like you have a problem with me. And so I'm like, why would I? I don't have a problem. So you want to do this? Okay, but you have a problem, but then you also come up to me and you're like, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. You look this, you got dope shoes on,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well,
Complimenting you. And
I'm like, hey, look, if you feel the need that you want to talk shit about me, but also feel the need to come up and compliment me and do this, I just take it as you're intimidated or something. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be intimidated.
that part, bro.
Like my favorite quote is from Seven Deadly Sins. It's an anime. My boy Escanor, he's fighting this dude who has this power that if you bear any hatred towards him, you can't lift your weapons against him. So Escanor walks up to him with his axe and he's like, why is it that you can lift your weapon towards me if you bear hatred toward me? And Escanor, who's the lion son of pride, he goes, why would I bear hatred towards someone that's obviously weaker than me? The only thing I feel for you is pity.
Bro, they took the whole no weapons formed against me shall
prosper. But yeah, but he was like, I'm not. He's like, I don't. Why if I know that why would I bear hatred towards someone that you obviously feel that you're intimidated by me for some. You're worried about me, so and I'm not worried about you. So you're obviously thinking you're intimidated by me for some reason. Not that I'm saying you should be. Not that I'm trying to intimidate you. But if that's the case, then why would I be mad at you? I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry that you feel this way.
it's their thing.
It's their thing.
It's nothing you've done.
Right. Well, if it's
You're being genuine.
right, and if it's something that I did, then tell me. Say, because more than likely I didn't do it on purpose. Unless you were doing something, hey, you're gonna, because sometimes people can crack a joke, and then you can tell there's that joke that has that extra little sting in it, like, oh, you're trying to, get a hot one in there, and so I'm just like, okay. I'll parry it, I'll take it, and then I'm going to say something back. Now, don't get mad when I say something a little hot too, which usually is like it's mild for what I could say.
Yeah.
I'm just playing, but I'm like, we're playing a game. It's a game. It's all right. It's people.
Motherfucker.
People are, you know, people will the okey doke, man. It's
Bro, I swear to you, the shit that you're saying right now, I would think you would have watched last week's episode. Not to say that you don't or anything, but it kind of goes to that.
last week's
you and
episode
I are
sounds like
different.
life. It's just life. Last week's episode, that topic alone is life. That's life right there. Like that's
Bro, you're hitting on the mark. And I'm not even really giving it away. Like, yes, but see, that's how the fuck the mind works. Like everything you're saying, like it's never. Marie was saying this too on the last episode. Is that it's not that anyone is doing something to that person. It's that person's like jaded perception or this
is
like
usually probably what is that they're projecting something onto you.
fucking bulldog. You did.
That's what I'm always saying. People just project onto you what they're feeling, and it's not an us thing. It's not our fault that they feel that way, but we're the ones that are taking that heat. So it's how you react to it that makes you either the better person or the same person that you're at their level.
Right. And I mean, it always comes down to like, because energy is precious. Like, so it's like, who are the people that are worth taking the time to talk to try and figure it out? At least making the effort to try and figure it out. Like, what's wrong? Like, why is it this way? Or you don't have any reason to feel threatened by me because like when I go out,
be good already.
When I go out places, I try and do my best to be very non-threatening so that like, cause motherfuckers go out and they're like, I gotta be hard. I gotta be like, and I'm just like, look, man, we're all here to have fun. So, and now in some cases it makes people go, oh, well, they think that I'm weaker than I am. But I'm like, no, I'm just making a choice. Like, and sometimes people think that they get over on you when really they don't. I just choose to go along with it. Like, I'm like, I see what you're doing, but it's okay. I'll just go along with it because really it's not that big of a deal. But it is, but you're not. It's okay because it makes you feel more comfortable to think that you're getting over on me than it would if I confronted you. So I'm like, if that's what you need to do, but you're not, because which doesn't even make any sense because you're weirded out or intimidated or something that you feel the need you have to do it, but yet somehow you think that you're going to get something past somebody that you already are intimidated by. So, but I'm like, for their own reasons. Exactly. So I'm just like, well, go ahead. Like, you can, I don't have to point it out to you. I mean, I could just do that, but I'm like, why not? Why would I put that energy into, I'm just like, I'll just let you have it. It's, being, it's like when you're playing basketball with your little brother and like, he does all these moves and it's like 30 travels and you don't call it. And then you could easily swat it, but you let him get the basket and he's like, yeah, I did something.
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah, man, you did. You got it.
Yeah, little bro.
You got it.
Little dude, you got it.
Whatever it takes to build your confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because that's all we want is I want us to get to a point to where you feel that you don't need to have to be this way.
That's true. And but isn't it a form of like communication? There's a kind of conversation happening. There's a type of talk that's going on, right? And like you said, well, I'm not going to partake in this bullshit, but I'll partake in this version of it. Oh, you want to save face right now and act like it's good right now? Or also, you know what I'm saying? And we let it play out and be like, all right, fine.
Well, you also look at the maturity of somebody like that to say that, like, even if I did call them out and was like trying to do this, is that person going to actually be able to say, no, I was doing this because, and actually have like an honest conversation about their feelings and why they feel? Because honestly, I know it's like saying intimidation feel like I'm talking like saying like I'm the shit, but really I always feel that those type of things really have nothing to do with me at all. Like it has nothing to do with me personally. It could be anybody. It doesn't. They have to feel some type of way, and I know I'm not trying to do it. It doesn't matter if I sat down and went along with it, or if I tried to be like, tell me what's wrong or why, because they might easily be like, there's nothing wrong, or I didn't do that. It's like when it's plain as day, and that's why I tell signs are there. But my thing is like, I'm not going to argue with someone that isn't emotionally capable. They don't have the capacity to actually speak their feelings, and part of that could be because not only because not that they don't want to, but they themselves don't know themselves. They don't know. They haven't done enough self-reflection and are self-aware to where they can be like, a lot of people will tell you, yo, man, I'm the fucking dopest at this. Everybody loves me this. I got this. I got this. But rarely do people come out and tell you, I fucking suck at math. I fucking suck at this. I'm not good at this. This thing terrifies me. I don't like to do this. No one talks about their weaknesses. And to me, in order to be truly self-reflective, you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Once you can really get comfortable with your insecurities and know and say, this makes me insecure, this thing. And then when someone says something and you're like, I feel some type of way about it, you can say to yourself, do I feel some type of way because of what they said? Or do I feel some type of way because it touches something that I already feel in myself?
Ancient philosophizer.
And if they can't even come to that terms, because my thing is like, if you can't could be you're being insecure or your weaknesses, you're not going to be able to take the reflection to even say that you did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be able to say like, yeah, I did do this. A lot of people have a hard time admitting they're wrong with just simple shit. Like, the speed limit said it's 65. No, it's 60. No, the sign literally just said 65. You read it wrong. Like, they'll be like, whatever. Like, they can't even say, you're right, I'm wrong. It'll be just like some like ending point to not admit it. And if they can't even do that, how the hell are they going to tell you I'm insecure because I feel this way or because I grew up this way and my fucking stepdad beat the shit out of me or something like that, or I always I used to be slow. So I used to be slow and couldn't run, and now I'm all jacked and shit. But I can't say that I'm still that same kid. Right. That the things that built me up to this point still affect me. But then again, you're not even aware of some of that stuff until you start even getting to the base level stuff. You're not even going to be able to scratch the surface to like the deeper stuff, the deeper things that you don't even know. You like push them down into the recesses of your mind, and then you don't even know that it's affecting you. It's affecting you some type of way. So then now you're like, oh, my mom cussed me out in the grocery store holding the shopping cart. So now as an adult, when I go there and somebody has their shopping cart and they're yelling at their kid, I get all mad and shit. Like, what the fuck are you yelling at your kid for? Don't even know that they reflect the trauma. Yeah. Like that it has something to do with that. That you don't have to, you don't even know. Like, so having to deal with people in these games and these struggles or battles, I have to use all that attack. You know what I'm saying? Like, pick and choose who's worth it, who's not. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm in a mood. So somebody comes with that bullshit, I'm going to fire back some shit and we can just see where it goes. Yeah. But most times I'm like, even then I say to myself, like, is it worth it? Is it worth having a 2-hour conversation or arguing or fighting somebody that you don't even know because they feel some type of way? I'm like, why? Because they don't even matter. And I don't have time for this shit. And I got other things. I didn't come out here to work. I'm not trying to bring my shit to you. So why are you bringing your shit to me? And why would I engage in it? Because if I came to them and was like, fucking, I need $25 and was tried to give them this whole sob story and started crying, they might be like, fool, I came here to have a drink. Fool, what do you get off me? You know what I'm saying? Like, like some people don't have to deal with it. It's just dealing with it in that sense of like people, especially like that scenario is like people that you come in contact. It's like it's always going to be somebody that you have extended time around where it's more than just this, to where they've built up enough reason to like dislike you or have a feeling, and you see them enough that it is where you can see it's this whole cat and mouse facade game thing. And my thing is like, if it's somebody that if it's my family, if it's you guys or something like that, I'd come to you and be like, hey, it feels a little weird. What's wrong? Right. Because we should be as family and we should be able to talk. And then also knowing sometimes you have some family members that they're not on that level either. And so they can't have that conversation because you know that, and sometimes you have to be in control of it because sometimes, you're trying to have that conversation with them and, they're going to come at you all because you're going to hit something that they're going to be like, oh,
The truth hurts.
yeah, you're attacking me. And it's like, I'm not attacking you. I could easily say I'm not attacking you. And still like, you're attacking me. And then next thing you know, they start trying to attack me. And then if I'm not in my deflect, and it's like, okay, I gave you this. So now you're just talking shit. So then now I'm going to, and next thing you know, you're trying to have a productive conversation and it's devolved into chaos. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, I haven't talked to this person in a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sometimes it's worth it, sometimes, but especially just people pretending. Sometimes it's a very weird thing to me to pretend to have some sort of animosity that you don't have any reason to have animosity for. And I mean, like, I get it where it's like sometimes I'm a pretty amicable guy,
Yeah.
but like sometimes it's just certain people. I don't know if it's the pitch of their voice. I can fucking hear them, something about how they talk, they laugh or something. I'm like, they annoy the fuck out of me. And I'm like, I don't even know why. I say to myself, like, why are you so annoyed? Anybody else would be doing this and you'd be totally fine. But yet this person just breathe and you're like fucking get me the fuck away from them. But at the same time, you can be cordial, but I don't see the point of being like, you fucking annoy me. But then I'm also going to go up to you and be like, hey, let's hang out. Miss you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, like, hi, how you doing? Exit stage left. Let me go somewhere else because I know eventually you're going to annoy me, And that's not even me going like you're doing it on purpose. I'm just like, that's just them being them.
Right.
But to actually come up and be like, I'm annoyed with you, but I'm also then pretending like I want to be around you doesn't make any sense to me. Like it's people do it. Like I get it. It's a very weird game. It's a balancing beam. So I'm usually more patient. So I'm like, yo, it's a game to do this, but I also can understand if you're like, you know what, I don't fucking want to deal with this shit. I don't want to deal with this game. I don't want to deal with you. You just projecting or whatever the fuck you're doing. I don't want to deal with it because I don't have the patience to deal with it because I got my own shit going on.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem and it's that big of a problem, then say something. But I don't get the I'm gonna do this and then do this and then it's like this.
Breadcrumbs, bro.
Well, it's like you're going back and forth. And my thing is like, again, someone trying to get over on me, and then I'm talking to them, and I'm just like, this is fake. And I'm like, but do you not have to know it? I know you know it's fake, but then it's like, do you have cognitive dissonance? Because it feels like you think that we're having a real conversation, or you think that I'm just so stupid that I'm just like, oh, like yeah, and I'm just like, no, man, I'm pretending too,
Right.
or we're just pretending together, I guess. Like, and it's like I just so that this whole scenario with all these other people doesn't have to be this way, But then you they'll say something that's like stupid, like, oh, remember when I did this, and it's like a little sly, like it's like, no, you didn't do that, or it wasn't. This isn't real, or you're trying to throw some little sneak diss or something like that, and then.
Yep.
I'll just be like, haha, yeah, that's totally how it happened. But I'm dry, like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's totally how it happened. Now, I mean, part of me wants to be like, oh yeah, when did it happen? No, it didn't. I remember, but I was like, I don't want to play in your game. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's how it happened. But they also don't. It's like they do read it. They read that I'm like, it's like,
I know.
But they'd have to then recognize and realize in themselves to be like, oh, he sees everything that I'm doing, which then goes back into the whole point of them then being whatever insecurity, being like, I see right through you to your insecurity, and that's scary to them. So they're like, let's keep playing the game. And I'm like, let's play the game some more then, I guess.
Or they'll call it out later. Like, why are you playing games? Huh? I'm never playing games. It was your game.
You're right.
I just recognized it and I was like, oh, we're doing that right now?
Well, I mean, it's the accountability to say that, like, this is what happened, or this is where this, or because my thing is like sometimes it could also be just a level of miscommunication. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get that part where somebody assumes something or something happens and you read a situation wrong and you're like, It's funny how someone can tell you something and you'll be like, yeah, they said it like this. And they're like, no, I literally said it this way. Like, I meant it this way. Like, and you're like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Tone matters. Like, you come in, you say something. My mom's aggressive. So it's like she says things in a certain tone, and people are like, you're being meaner. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm just being direct. I'm just talking to you. Like, I mean, you don't know what I'm like when I'm angry. Actually, I'm just telling you what it is. Some people they don't know how to read how they talk to people, and also some people don't read how people talk to other people. Like,
Right.
they could be like, oh, you're just because you raised your voice a little bit, you're yelling. It's like, no, I'm not yelling. I got more yelling. I got more yelling.
I'm passionate.
I'm just right. I didn't realize that your feelings were going to get hurt. And then that comes to me going, well, why are your feelings getting hurt? Like,
Yeah.
what, why would your feelings get hurt? Why would you think that I'm trying to hurt your feelings? Why would I try and hurt your feelings? What makes you think that was what I've done? Is that when did it change? When did it, as long as you've known me, that you all of a sudden decided that I was purposely trying to hurt your feelings?
Bro.
When did it change? Like, because if I was my entire goal to hurt your feelings, then I would have been doing it from the beginning. So more than likely, there has to be a misunderstanding somewhere in there. Because it didn't wake up one day and just like, you know what? Fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to start acting weird.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that builds up to it. And that's the part of like, depending on the person who it is, do you try and talk it out? Or do you just play the game? Or do you just go, you know what? I don't fucking like you. So just don't talk to me. And then when they do the inevitable, what's going on? I don't know what this is and this. And you go, you know what the fuck is going on.
Yep. Fuck this.
You know what the fuck is going on. And if they really were like, and if they really were, I have no clue. Like then that will be where they go, here, I'm going to try and reach out and be like, look, there's got to be some misunderstanding because I don't know where this is coming from. And then maybe it's like, oh, then you say, well, you've been doing this and this. And he's like, they could be like, oh, I didn't see it that way. I wasn't actually trying to do that. And then you hope that they're being honest, or if not, it's like, oh, we'll see what you got to say. But if they just go, oh, man, why are you being this way? And don't try and make any effort. It's like, well, I guess that's what things stand for. Yeah. Oh, sorry to go off on last week's topic.
No, fool, like that's how it works here.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't always have to be a certain way.
Last week's topic was a good topic. It's definitely life. It's something that you're not gonna like. Gonna walk out the door tomorrow and be like, I was driving somewhere, right? And I'm going over the speed limit, and there are motherfuckers that'll be like, I'm gonna get in front of you and slow you down.
Oh God.
I'm gonna slow you down. And I'm like, why are you trying to control my fucking life? You're not the cops. Actually, you're causing them traffic. I'll be out of your way if you just move. But they're like, no, I gotta control. Or I drive by and they turn out and they're like yelling at me. I'm like, I've actually had someone where I drove past, sped around them because they were going slow and they flipped me off. And I'm like, I'm just going around you. You're in my way. You could move over. I know. I had to do more work than you did. And you're mad at me? Or like being on 7th Ave where there's like the turn lane. It's the suicide lane. It's a drivable lane, and someone will get in there and you're like honk at them like, yes, you're in the way, and then they flip you off, and you're like, the rules. It says it. I'm not honking at you because I'm just like, yeah, you're in the turning lane, and I want to go straight because this is my world. I'm like, you're in the way. You're gonna cause an accident, and they're like, fuck you because I can't admit that I can't look at signs. People will try and put you in their lives, and they will try and dictate. I'm going the speed limit, and so I'm not going to go any faster, even though there's a whole bunch of cars behind you, and you're supposed to be in the right-hand lane anyway. Right? Get the fuck over. Stop fucking restricting my life. I don't want to, like Dr. Mahan says, I'm tired of being caught in the tangle of your lives. I don't want to be fucking involved in it. Like, let me go.
Yeah, let me go. I'm detached.
Right. But because then if you really want me to be tangled in your life, then I'm start cussing at you and talking shit. Then you're going to be like, leave me alone.
Why?
Why?
What did I do to hurt you?
So mean. Yeah, I know.
It's your voice, or it's your something, or
Yeah.
it's a something of them, bro. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So people, they're great and they're trash.
And we can't be the garbage bag in that keeps it all together.
You never know,
To
man.
dump out.
It's like it's people that there's sometimes there's great people, like it's all, and then sometimes it's trash and you open it up and it's a bunch of fucking hypodermic needles and fucking shit. And sometimes you open it up and it's a bunch of fucking old VHS porn tapes.
Right?
sometimes it's a bag of dope ass Nikes. You never know in this world what you're gonna get with interactions, but there's a lot of trash people that it's definitely just hypodermic needles or like shit
Basura.
diapers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely
there are
it's just like it's like life is like going to like Goodwill or something like that. Like you got to sift through a bunch of shit to maybe find something that's valuable, and you're like, oh shit, I found this, and it's cheap. And it's cheap. And I was like, yo, this is dope as fuck. It's actually valued at this, and I only paid $2 for it.
$1,000.
You're right. And then you're like, damn, I'm thankful for that. Whereas also you're like, damn, I had to get this thing. I had to look through someone's used fucking drawers or some shit to get to fucking get to find it. Like, yo, whoops, got to get past this. This stinks. This is terrible. Yeah.
But I found a Mickey Mantle rookie card.
Right. And then sometimes, and that's the thing with life is the first spice is because where I'm like, these fucking dirty ass drawers, someone's gonna pick them up and be like, I love dirty drawers. and they found their friend. They found their friend.
Before that, be like, get away.
And they're like, Mickey Mantle baseball card. Ugh, I don't want that. Those dirty drawers.
I'll take those.
Fuck, I've been looking for those.
Hot.
You know how much valuable shit I had to sift through to get to this trash? Love it.
Thanks for looking for me.
You guys don't know what you're passing up on.
This is mint.
Yes.
See the stain? It has encrusted.
Yeah, when it's mint, it's like mint.
Fresh.
It's got menthol burns in it. That's
pass me that lighter.
right. Exactly. Sometimes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's the shit we're on.
And I'm on it too.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm glad. There's definitely no reservations.
We're definitely not trash people. You're not trash people person. No.
I mean, I'm probably trash in someone's universe, but I'm fucking. I'm upper echelon trash.
What comic book character would you be then? What would your comic book character be then?
Oh man, like who's my favorite comic?
No, like whatever. No, like yes, who is your favorite comic book character? But if you were a comic book character, like your plots and good movie lines.
Oh, I already said,
like
my favorite comic book character is Wolverine.
Yes,
but like I've already said that. I'd say that I have a certain set of special powers already. One of them is that I can predict sports injuries. 2, like I told you earlier, no matter how dumb you think I am, the moment you think I'm that dumb, I instantly level up and get smarter. And then I also have great ideas that can be capitalized on. But the weakness of it is that if I try to do them, they're not going to work.
So you gotta like live vicariously through.
I'm like somebody version, right? Like I'm like tech support. Like I built the guns for the marksman to shoot the gun. If I tried to shoot it, be like, yo, you're missing. If for some reason,
you're like a star trooper, like a
stormtrooper, yeah, just like miss him. But if I hand it to Han Solo, he's like, I shot first. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, I think that my comic book character would be something of like. He'd be like a cynic, a superpowered cynic where he can, his life is filled with anybody that's where he's around, he gives them good luck. But then the bad thing is that then he has to take the bad luck. And then, right. And then, and then I can tell the future, but then no one believes me.
So I love this shit.
And then, so it's like, also it's like I have the power to like uplift and be like, oh, I can tell someone like they're down in the dumps and be like, they're this, but then also on the flip side, my power doesn't work to me, so I'm actually very much a pessimist about things that go on with myself, which also is tied in with the bad luck powers that already come in.
It's like you're regenerating. You gotta go through the shit because your people are doing good.
Right.
Now you're regenerating because your shit's just in the dumps. You're like, fuck.
I'm like the ultimate support character. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Tech
Like,
support.
yeah, I'm like on the X-Men. The X-Men have all these, but like they make it a staple in comics where the X-Men always have telepaths. So like they can have like just one telepath, but the telepath, they do on the team is they connect everybody's minds so they can strategize in their heads without having to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's what I'm there for. I'm just like there for to be like, yo, do
Connect
this,
everyone.
do this, and this. But I'm not gonna really be a dangerous.
Yeah, I can't get into the mix.
Right. I'm not. It's gonna backfire. Yeah. That will probably be. I don't know. I haven't quite decided if that character is a hero or a villain. I'm not sure yet. I'm still working.
Well, what about a vigilante then?
Like somewhere in the middle.
Like a Punisher, Wolverine style.
Yeah, maybe a Punisher I can see myself being like, I want to do extreme prejudice on people that I are stupid, like because I do have that in me where I'm like,
stupid driver.
Yeah, where I'm like, I hope your tire falls off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it happened. It's
right. Like in real life, I'm like, oh, you're fucking cut me off. I hope your tire falls off. But then I'm like, that's not right. But then part of me is like, is it not right though? I could easily be one of those. It's like those superheroes or the super villains that switch sides. You never know. Like I could have been like a superhero, then all of a sudden I'm in like my villain phase where I'm just like, yeah, you know what?
You're Superman when he drank the alcohol and pissed off the referees.
Right.
What do you want?
What do you want? Exactly. Instead of giving people optimistic views, I just don't say anything. I'm just like, deal with it yourself. I could help you, but nah. That's my villain era.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sarcasmo.
Yeah, that's the what would my name be? This it'd be the Great Depression. That would be my superhero.
Oh my god.
That would be my superhero team, probably the Great Depression.
The Great Depression. This fucking guy. You fucking every time, bro, you amaze me, bro. Just fuck.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's original, bro. This is the shit I love doing when we're just hanging out. Talking. This is like some regular shit that we do here.
Absolutely. It hasn't even gotten as strange as it could get.
It could get weird, but who knows?
Yeah, there's no reservations, so nothing can stop us.
Nothing. The limit is limitless.
Yeah, there's no boundaries.
Well, the limit is the alcohol for me. Once I finally hit that limit, I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Yeah, and then you like that, and then all of a sudden you get this feeling because the alcohol starts tingling, and you're like, just hear whispers of like, they could use sandwiches.
The meat folded this way.
Yeah, the sandwiches.
I just close my eyes and do math in my head now.
That too. She does math in her head with her eyes closed. Some people call it sleeping.
Yes.
She calls it calculus.
Trigonometry. She's trying to trick us. It's trigonometry.
It's the geometry of a pillow. You know what I'm saying?
An invisible pillow, just like
you know what I'm saying. It's
doing math.
It's a parallelogram of her eyelids. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's where the X and the Y meet.
Exactly. The variable is what time will she open her eyes? Who knows?
What remains when she wakes up?
Right.
When she solves the problem.
Yeah. When she wakes up, the problem solved. Yeah, she feels great. My eyes are open now. I figured it out.
7 to the 12th power.
That's right. That's
the Great Depression.
Yeah, that's a movie idea. Oh. It's like what's that movie called? Hidden Figures, where it's like the black ladies that do the math so that they can go to the Smith. That's like Marie though.
Marie, she's like narcoleptic. She passes out.
It's Hidden Figures. Hidden Figures 2 is where it's Marie sleeping, and then every time she wakes up, she like solves like cold fusion or something like that.
No, it's like, and I always forget homie's name from Demon Slayer. Homie that falls asleep and falls.
Oh, Zenitsu. Yeah, Zenetsu. Yeah, he falls asleep and then turns into a beast and then wakes up. It's like, oh, what did I do? I'm scared. He's like, he kills a demon and the kid's like, and then wakes up like, you killed a demon, kid. Thank you. But it was him. Yeah,
He was asleep the
except she
whole
falls asleep
time.
and she doesn't know. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. She like falls asleep and then she just does math shit and then wakes up and is like, who did this stuff?
Yeah, and then you pop in.
Yeah, she's like, you guys,
Wake up.
I know you've had
We
some.
gotta go.
She's like, I know you had some bitch in here doing fucking problems.
Right? What's all this shit in blue?
What's all this shit up here?
Who's trying to figure this out?
Yeah, why are there all these fucking graphs and shit on the shower wall? Who did it?
Marie saw confusion with her eyes closed.
Who the fuck is AM?
What is that?
Whose signature is that?
That's not mine.
That's not mine.
The A goes like this.
When she sleeps, she writes with her left hand instead of her right.
Does.
So it's like a completely different.
You know those people that like can transcend the other realm and they write.
Yeah,
That's what she's doing in math.
It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't even know.
Bitch.
She's like Two-Face from Batman. Like he's like, I'll flip the coin. Or the dude from Batman that has the Scarface, where he's a ventriloquist, but he has the little puppet with the machine gun.
Oh, that's right.
And he's like, yeah, this guy, shut up. He calls the ventriloquist the dummy, but really he's just like,
he's like, oh, shut up, dummy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that you're schizophrenic. I just want to say that maybe that could be the plot twist, is that you are schizophrenic.
Oh.
Maybe none of us all exist and you're in a mental institution. So trying to write what kind of meal you want for the day.
You're Harley Quinn.
Yeah, except she was a psychiatrist.
But this version is a mathematician.
Yeah. Instead of a psychiatrist, and she never.
Well, I mean, I could be a psychiatrist. I've done enough therapy to have gone through all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we do here.
I like to say
life
that.
lessons. And
I'm a freelance therapist. Freelance therapist and amateur fucking pessimist and amateur cynic.
I like that. Okay. Yeah. This fucking guy.
You know,
fucking Kenny, dude. Fucking.
That's what I'm here for.
I knew having you on here, just like we talked about, would be a good thing. I'm gonna repeat myself probably a couple times because this is how it is. Just being honest, having a good time.
That's what it's all about.
You know, that's what it's about here. We're just talking. You know, we're shooting the shit. No.
Shooting the shit it's the best, especially when you shoot the shit with good people that can have like conversation, comedy. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people you shoot the shit with them and like, I don't know. Like that's part of my thing too. Is like I have this thing where strangers will come up to me, and all kinds of things, and they'll tell me very intimate things about their lives. And I'm like, it's super weird, especially sometimes like I'm trying to go outside and smoke and then someone comes up to me and they're like, I'm like, actually, I came out here to not talk to anyone. And then they're like, come up and like, oh, they make like this little set introduction. It's like, here, this and this, you got a light for it? And I'm like, here's a light. And they're just like, yeah, so lost my job today. Like, all right, you know, I mean, I know I've told you this story before, but I'll tell it for the people out here.
Right.
When I went to go buy a car, and the guy is selling me the car, and we go for a test drive. Conversation starts out. He's like, yeah, you got kids? What is this? And I'm like, yeah, I got a kid. He's like, me too. We went to the beach, blah, 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 blah. So we're coming back, and the finance guy, we're waiting for the finance guy, and he's like, so he goes, what happened? Are you still with your baby's mom? And I'm like, are you still with the child's mother? And I'm like, no, I'm not. That didn't work out. He's like, yeah, my girl cheated on me. And I found it because she was fucking a guy at work I went there because her phone went off and I went through her phone and I hit dude up. And then come to find out she was fucking a whole bunch of different people. And this is what I did. And I confronted her and I'm sitting there going, bro, I'm very empathetic to hearing that you got this, but you're trying to sell me a car right now. And obviously you don't know that I just need a car, so I'm going to leave with this car. But there might be somebody that walks in here where they have options and this might turn them the fuck off. So I wanted to be like, dude, maybe you should pull back on, which is funny because then the finance guy came out, which I was like thankful because that's what stopped him from talking about that. And I had my wallet on the table and it's a Tokyo Ghoul wallet. And then the finance guy's like, you're into anime? And it's like, and they're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden they're both like, oh, we're both into anime. So then they're talking to me about anime. And like in between we're talking about the car and I'm like, no, this is too much. He's like, okay, well, hold on, let me come back and I'll bring the paperwork. So then we're talking about anime. And he's like, how about this? And I'm like, all right. And then he comes back and he's like, here, these are the statues that I have in our office that are anime statues. And I'm like, all right, dope. And then now we're waiting for the paperwork. And then the dude that was originally telling me about his girl, he's like, have you watched Bleach? And I literally was like, no, I haven't watched it. I know it came out, but I have to finish the old one. He's like, well, here, let me put it on for you on my phone right here, right now. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're watching Bleach right now. And I'm like, all right. And it's just stuff like that to where I'm like, I don't know why people feel comfortable to just come up and be like, I'm gonna just I'm just gonna just tell you shit. I'm gonna be dumping this on you. I'm gonna be like, let me just give you all of this. So sometimes you attract people and then you wind up being in weird situations.
It's your energy.
Is it?
It's the yeah.
I know
And you're a big energy person as it is.
I'm too inviting, I guess. Like
you're very inviting. You're like, just tell me everything without really telling me everything.
Every man face, they feel like they're talking to their father. You look like my father who went missing when I was 12. Like I'm like, I'm sorry.
He left for the milk and cigarettes and never came back.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't even smoke cigarettes.
Platinum miles.
I'm not, but then it's also that part of me to be like, not be rude. I just take it as like it's my my one of my purposes in life to be a pillar. Sometimes is that you never know who you can affect, and like maybe that person needed to get that shit off their chest, and maybe and probably not. I could tell them something, and they'll probably be like, "I hear you," and then stumble out, and tomorrow I'll do the same fucking thing. But if it happens to me 100 times and I help one person, then it was worth it. Even if it's just me listening to them, even though I'm annoyed about it because I'm like, I literally came out here to not talk to anyone, and I'm trying not to be inviting, and you can't even tell me that you can't tell that I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm like, you guess you're just going to talk. Or what's even worse is when someone comes up and they talk to you about something that like even more so doesn't have anything to do with you. Like, oh, I'm listening to this, and like, oh, you're listening to Wu-Tang? You ever listen to Britney Spears? No, I don't really listen to Britney Spears. Well, Britney's got this new album coming out and doing this and this, and I'm like,
a shameless plug.
Right. Well, they just start talking. It's like they're having it's like a conversation back and forth, but it's not really a conversation. It's more like them just talking at you, and you're just like a living flesh person that can be like,
with ears.
Yeah. That's how usually I get people to stop talking to me is I stop responding. People at work, when they would come and try and talk to me and I was done with their conversation, I would just turn my back to them and just go, yeah. And I'm like, eventually you'll leave when you're done talking. I'm done talking. I can't leave because I'm out. I can't leave because this is my desk. You're over here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you're in my shit.
Yeah, and then there's always that fear of like, even if you get up to leave, you're at the person like you get up to leave so that they won't stop talking to you, and then they follow you, and they're like talking to you behind as you're walking away.
Yes. Oh fuck.
You know, and you're like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and hope that when you open the door, they're not waiting there to be like, so anyway, let's finish this conversation. It's like, fuck.
Britney Spears, huh?
Right. Okay, so what's this now with Britney Spears? All right, cool. Or this and this. You know what? I think I gotta go. I gotta go now.
Yes, I don't know what to talk about.
I gotta leave this whole establishment. No, it's something. It's just the randomness of what you can hear someone say out of context. You know what I'm saying? Like, I find it to be hilarious if you're just listening and you hear the wildest shit.
Yeah, like this conversation.
Yeah, this conversation.
I love it.
That's all I'm just a culmination of wild stories and things, and imagery, and being like, this has happened, or it could happen, or what if it did happen?
Right?
Yeah.
You know what? That shit is crazy. Like all your ideas have been created before. Like you helped Funky Bronco, right?
Yeah.
There's a few ideas you threw out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, you know, shout out to Funky Bronco.
You know what time it is, Dion, Brian.
Me and Prim, we do a lot of, you know, music and stuff, but we bounce a lot of ideas off of each other. And he was telling me about their Halloween episode about the Greer. And he was saying how, you know, it's a Halloween episode and they like have this monster called the Greer and this and this. And I was just sitting there talking. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if the guy it's not really a monster, it's a guy that just can't afford health insurance, so he's all fucked up, and he comes like wandering around every year. So we were talking about that, and then he was like, "Yo, we use your idea, so you have writing credits." And I was like, "Shit, that's awesome." Or like, Prem took one of the premises of one of my Facebook posts and put it in an episode, like where because I said something where I said two things about being at the convenience store. It's funny how the less amount of teeth someone has in their mouth, the longer it takes them at the register. And also the people that there's a whole fucking line and they're cashing in their goddamn scratchers. And then they buy new scratchers and then want to scratch them there at
Right
the fucking
there.
at the like, if you don't get the fuck out of here, man,
Motherfuckers.
I hope you lose now.
You don't want all that money to buy the scratcher.
Go to your car and scratch it. You can't even wait.
That's a fiend.
Yeah, man.
Fool.
The voice of God judged the preacher. With the kiss of death, I whisper ether. Meet your black, glad to meet ya. I'ma lead the rejection procedure. Euthanasia at my leisure. You're Ricky trying to outrun bullets at 100 meters. Usain Bolt action heaters. Fighting fire with fire, I'm the world's leader. The authority on launching heat seekers. Judgment, put respect on my name like Aretha. Y'all a bunch of pussies with torn out urethras. Don't put whack rappers in my liga. They ain't hot, couldn't run a fever. Next to me, meltdowns Amiga. You're over easy, desert eagles eager.
But yeah, Prem took he took I think it was a culmination or a combined thing of those two posts and had it with the switchblade. Or he's actually a letter opener.
Yeah.
And then and then we talk about different just shooting, bouncing ideas and stuff. So it's
Would you ever voice some shit?
I've thought about it. I actually was, but then again, like I don't know. Sometimes I'm like I can do things, but then I'm like I don't know.
I think you could, fool.
You have that voice. You have that voice that you could like narrate over stuff. Like be a voice actor.
I've thought about it. It would be nice just to do something that gave me money that I found out that I was good at by just talking. But yeah, I mean, like I definitely like the writing aspect of it. Like I've also thought about like like writing comedy. Like I want like ideas with sketches or writing like I've thought about stand up, and I'm like I don't want to do stand up,
Bro, you should, fool. Hey, I've been saying the same thing. You just naturally saying that shit. You should, fool. I mean,
yeah.
There are some improvs that do like a duo type of thing. So I think when you guys get you two together and do shit, it's fucking hilarious.
Right. I mean, like it's one thing to be like, oh, it's just first of all, it's like comedians
like fucking Penn and Teller, you mean? Charlie.
the Blue Man Group or something
Right.
like that.
Los hombres brown.
Those hombres brown, exactly. Black
It's
and
like
tan.
another episode of Workaholics. That's what you guys can do.
Yeah.
Charlie Alex.
Charlie Holics.
Charlie Alex. Like Charlie. Someone throw you an idea like Charlie. You take it?
Our show would be called
And underneath subtitle, Charlie Alex.
Charlie Holics.
The higher the sodium, the lower the socks. Fool.
Yeah, or it could be called Cuidadete.
Oh.
Cuidadete.
Yeah.
Oh, your guys' makeup fucking words.
Cuidadete. What else?
All words are made up, Marie.
Oh, and the prequel is Tranquilites.
Tranquilites. Putits.
Yeah, Tranquilites. You're like, damn. It just depends on how you whistle it.
Yeah.
That's Tranquilite. Watch out. Hey.
It's the same sound every time, but it's like I am Groot, where it's like it sounds the same, but it means different things. It's like the same. And it's like,
dude.
yeah, fool, I know. I already heard you once. You don't have to repeat yourself.
You start throwing back a whistle that tells them to shut up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where it's like you just talk to me like that, but we're having a full conversation, but you never say anything other than.
It's like a whistle fool.
Right.
A whistler.
Yeah.
A whistle fool who do that song. She hates it.
Please don't.
You know?
Please don't.
And then it's
Hate
like,
that.
and they were like, "Who's talking like that?" And then it's just like somebody with like a Swiffer, like, who's speaking our language?
Damn.
Somebody from my native country.
Bro.
It's a Swiffer.
The Swiffer.
It's a Windex.
Swifter. Sweeter.
Sweeter.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh God, off topic.
Yeah.
Off topic. This shit is grateful.
Yeah, I know. That's stand up. I just like doing comedy anyway. Like that's the thing.
You
Is like,
should, fool.
but it's just
I've been really thinking about it too. That's why.
it's like coming up there and coming up with like a bit or a set.
5 minutes, fool.
It's
Start on 5 minutes.
5 minutes is a long time. You ever waited for
2 minutes.
You ever waited for your food to cook for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Damn, it takes forever.
Well, that's why we work good together, fool. Shit like this, man.
Absolutely.
That's why I love you. You know, it's like being accountable.
Yeah, man, I love you too, man. Well, yeah, you gotta just have fun and
But when you're around good people.
Yeah, you feel comfortable. That's the whole thing about it. Is like people need to feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable, then you can be yourself. You can have a good time. But if you're not comfortable, then you're not going to be able to. Like if I was uncomfortable with myself, would I get on your podcast and be like,
Fuck,
I sounded like shit singing this thing?
Take out, like, all this funny, everything, we're having a good time here, being funny, but really like accountability. You're like the pillar of it because, I tell you sometimes I'm going to wild out, but then now now in hindsight, I go, what can you do? I just hear this fool. I understand it now. Or even you, Marie, like, what'd she say? But more so like with you, because you're accountable. You're like, hey, fool, are you kind of fucking up right now?
Well,
So,
that comes from, it's my thing is like, it's myself. I try and keep myself accountable.
yeah.
And my thing is like, it's not even about, sometimes like people take accountability or just saying something to be as an attack because no one likes to be told that they feel. But my thing is like, I'm trying to tell you this because I don't want to, I can see how this can be detrimental to you. It's not because I'm like, because sometimes I'm like, fuck, I need to be accountable for this. And I'm like, fuck, I know it. But my thing is like, as long as you know it, then you can be accountable for it and just being like, hey, you do realize this because some people don't realize.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I tell you and you choose, I'm like, okay, but at least you having some awareness because some people aren't, my thing is some people are going to tell you that they see this thing or that you're doing this. They're going to just be like, that motherfucker does this shit all the time and does this, but they never going to say to you, hey, bro, I don't know if you know this, but when you do this thing, it's probably not the best for you, man. It's not me saying that I'm upset, but I'm just saying I see a pattern of you doing something and it affects you in a negative way. Maybe you should reflect on this and see, can't you see how this could be, it looks detrimental, even when you're not the one that caused it, but you can't control anybody but yourself. So that's the only way. So being accountable, and at least, being accountable is even saying like, this person did something to me that they handled it totally wrong. But what did I do in that situation that I could have diffused it, or I could have said something differently, or I could have done this, like I could have handled it differently. Doesn't mean that they weren't wrong for doing this, but still I have culpability in what the situation that happened. If I do have any, but I reflect on that. Like, do I have that? Do I not have that? I mean, if somebody just walks up and punches me in the face, I'm not going to be like, this stranger punched me in the face. What did I do to this person? I don't know. No, I'm gonna be like, man, fuck them. Right. But if somebody gets mad because I did something, I'm like, wait, did I do something? That's probably my problem. It's like a lot of the times I think too much. I'm like, wait a minute. Is it me? Is it them? Is it this? What's going on? And am I taking it wrong? Am I doing this and that? But it's like,
is it me?
Is it me? Right. But then also, there's also that part of me like, yeah, I'm doing this, but then I'm also like, I'm holding them accountable because I'm like, you should be doing the same thing, but you're so sure that you're right, which makes me go, well, you're fucking up in some type of way because you can't, everybody could be better. And sometimes everybody can be better. And sometimes a lot of things is that people get stuck on just being like it's a war of not budging. And sometimes like my philosophy is like sometimes, and it sucks because it's not fair for me all the time, but I just try to practice at being the better person. Like just to be like, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the thing that I shouldn't have to say, or I'm going to see it from your perspective and try and do this and this. because I know you won't do it. And instead of being mad at them or being like, well, fuck you, like this and this, at least I know that if I tried and then they don't try, then I can be like, well, then that's on you. But at least I tried. It's not just a, we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. You know what I'm saying?
This guy.
So, being accountable, I just think that if everybody, and like, not that like fake holds people accountable, where it's like, oh, you need to do this with your money, or why aren't you doing it? Because everybody has their flaws, their vices, or this and this, to be like, I'm trying to point something out to make you seem lesser or do this and that. It's just pointing out the accountabilities of things that you think are detrimental to people, that you want the best for them and you want them to be able to think about it, but not to be like, you're fucked up for doing this. But hey, bro, do you ever think about this? Do you think about, yeah, you're justified in this, but do you see how it affects someone the next level over that you care about?
Right.
Are you,
Or
you're
how
not
it's
even
spilled over.
right. You're so focused on what you feel or what you think or what you feel you're owed or what this and that, that do you see the collateral damage you're leaving around? Are you even thinking about that? Are you thinking about this? Is this where you want to be in this turmoil? And what's it for? And being like, hey, I did this wrong. See, I did this thing wrong. I'm going to tell you that I did this thing wrong. I can see that. Right? I'm not even saying that I did something wrong. I'm like, I didn't do it because I didn't do it because intention matters. Intention always matters to me. If you intentionally do something as opposed to accidentally doing it, I'm like, I didn't intentionally do it, but I can see from your perspective, because I'm taking accountability of knowing all this and that I can see how you could see it that way. But then that's why I'm coming to you to tell you that it's not that way, even though I don't have to do that.
Right.
So accountability, I just feel like it makes things smooth.
Yeah.
Especially if, you get to the point to where you can actually talk to someone and be like, hey, bro, you're fucking up. Or, man, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. Or, hey, this isn't worth it. Like,
You just want the best for people.
yeah, right. Just because why wouldn't you want the best for people?
Right. Your peoples. You
Right.
always want to uplift them, and
Like I said, it's like it's not a competition, it's a cooperation.
exactly.
We all can prosper, if we work together, if you have just some empathy, understanding, try and be like, yeah, your situations may not be the same, but be like, you're not that far off. You've probably done something similar that this person's done. You sure as fuck didn't didn't fess up to it or didn't go like this. And also, when you did it, you didn't want someone to throw the book at you or treat you or categorize you as you're a piece of shit. So do unto others as you want done to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Damn. So what with that, what kind of advice would you give people that are dealing with all of that, or just from your perspective of things?
I think my perspective is like where you probably, I would say, as far as like giving people about taking accountability or trying to hold people accountable. I mean, one thing I would say is that whenever you talk to someone about like what you're trying to tell them about being accountable or holding them accountable, is that you shouldn't talk to them in a way that it comes off as an attack. If you come to someone and tell them you're doing this or you're fucking up or this and that, it's just people's natural thing that when someone comes with criticism, you naturally get defensive. And you're never going to hear they're not going to hear you because they're going to be like, what? Well, it's going to go from a million things like, I didn't do that, or something, or you do this. When it's like, well, the conversation wasn't about me. I mean, if you wanted to tell me that, you could tell me that, but you're bringing it up now because I'm bringing something to you. So my thing is to be like, come to them with being like, I'm not telling you this because I'm attacking you. I'm telling you this because A, I care, or it hurts my feelings, or this and this and that.
I'm coming
and talking to you.
Not confrontation.
And it's not aggressive or a blame. It's more of a trying to gain an awareness. I want you to see this is how this makes me feel, or this way. And trust me,
see it from my point.
Right. And trust me, it's like walking.
You're making faces over there. Look at her.
Because it's stuff I tell you all the time.
That's why I sound so familiar.
You know why he doesn't hear you? Because it doesn't have the acoustics of a plate with a sandwich on it when you say it. It doesn't have that acoustics, so he can't really hear it.
I wouldn't feel hungry and I'd be paying attention, right?
How did you say it to him? Did you say it the way that you said it, or did you go speak his native tongue? He might understand it.
I'm just saying. No, but
Yeah.
you're right, bro. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta. But even then, you can try all of those things, and that person can still not want to take accountability. But my thing is like, at least you tried. At least you did. You tried to do the right thing. Which again, the same thing with accountability. As long as you know that at least you know that you tried, and you tried to do it the right way, not just. Well, I told them, and they this and this. Because that's another thing. My thing is like, especially your close friends, your family, but just people in general. But definitely like your close friends. It's like when I say I'm your friend, I feel it's my job to know you as a person, good and bad,
yes.
pros and cons, flaws and weaknesses, so that I can know how you are going to respond or know how you're going to do things, because that's what friendship is.
Right.
It's like knowing them and knowing like, hey, I'm not going to this is going to piss you off, or this is going to be this way. And then not everybody's the same. So then you tailor your relationships with how those people work. That's how relationships are. Not every one relationship is the same.
Exactly.
Right. You can literally be birthed from the same person with 3 people and they're all different.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like but it's instead of like a lot of times people do things where they're like, I want you to do this thing. But I know that you're not going, that's not what you do. But yet they feel that you should be something that you're not. And so they set you up to do something, but they're basically setting you up to fail. Because then they're like,
facts.
You didn't do it. And why didn't you do it? Because I feel you should be able to do it. Because they're thinking about you from what they think you should do.
Right.
But not thinking about from the perspective of who you are and how you would think things. Whereas you're like, I don't do things this way. So it's like, here, you guys all know I'm late. So it's like, for you to be like, we're setting your time. I'm great. But you're saying, you're setting me up at a time ago. We're going to tell them it's at 2. Knowing that 2 isn't 2 o'clock isn't going to work out, or like that probably I'm going to be late, but then you still set it there. And then when I show up late, you're like, you said you knew it was 2 and this, but I'm like, but you know I'm late. Like, so you should have figured that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Why are you getting mad at me for me being me? Like, and you should accept that and then work and like, you know, something that's where you come into the boundaries. Like some people are a certain way and you're like, I fuck with you, but I know you're this way and I can't fuck with that shit.
Right.
And instead of me trying to force you to be somebody that you're not, I'm just going to set up, okay, what are you doing? Oh, you're doing this right now?
Mm-hmm.
I know how you are. Even if you tell me I'm not this way, I'm like, I know. I can tell from the way that you're typing.
We've been friends so long?
How long?
I can hear the murmuring.
I can hear you. I can hear you this way. I can hear when you say that you're not mad, but I can hear your aggression in your voice. I know.
I can hear your lips smacking like the Joker.
Right. I know.
I'm never gonna like you.
Right. So you know. So then there's nothing to get mad. But instead, it's like, oh, I expect you to do this thing that you've constantly not done, but I still, for some reason, still continue to think that I'm going to tell you to do it, and you're gonna change. When really, you should just be like, "Oh, this is my friend. I know what you're going.
Accordingly.
I know what you're going to do before you do it.
Yeah.
So why would I expect you to set your
Everything about you is a thumbs down.
Right now, fool, you're probably gonna get real mad and go to jail.
Ooh.
You don't want to do that shit, fool.
Do you want to go to jail?
You got a fucked up leg and shit.
Yeah.
Why you want to go to jail for?
Calm down. It's just a parking space.
I'll tell you, like Rallies or Burger King.
You're right.
And then you'll be like Burger King. I'm like, well, Rallies is right here, fool.
And I'll be like, the fries are
banana strawberry shake.
Banana shake. Just banana
and chocolate.
And, no, just banana. Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, even I knew that. Just
why? Oh, damn, I'm not a good friend. I'm sorry.
Get the fuck out.
You were just talking about it right now. Look,
all right. Okay, folks. So because of that, Marie and Judge, no reservations.
Thursdays at 7 p.m.
Thursdays at 7 p.m.